It's getting it hard away, Southern T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If it's your first time, do me a solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day, and not just today. Today, we here with the Fight EP for Undisputed between Miss Undisputed versus Miss Undisputed. We got a double undisputed champ. They're going to be fighting for Claressa Shields' undisputed title, but Franchon Crews is also an undisputed champ as well at a lower division, just like Claressa Shields, but they're at the heavyweight division right now, and they're fighting for Claressa titles. But both these women have been undisputed. If you look at it on paper, if you're going with the best women in the game, at least at the higher weight classes for sure, right? Let's just say 160 and up. You have Claressa Shields is probably the best woman of all time ever right now in boxing, right? And then you got Franchon Crews, who is most definitely, if you're just talking about like the bigger weight classes, 154 and up, she's probably the best lady after Claressa Shields. The lady who would rank in front of her, the ladies who would rank in front of her are at the smaller weight classes, the Katie Taylors, the Amanda Serranos. And outside of those women, really, if you're going off of what they have done, their resume, right, Franchon Crews is right there. She easily could be top five. Everybody is talking about Claressa should fight Shadeja Green. Well, Franchon Crews beat Shadeja Green 10-2. Shadeja Green looked like she didn't belong in the ring. And I rate Shadeja Green high. But she kind of blew her opportunity by losing to Crews. Not saying that she won't get one later, but this fight right now is supposed to be between Claressa and Shadeja Green. But Shadeja Green ended up losing to Franchon Crews, the lady that we're about to talk about right now in this EP. Right, so this is a rematch. Don't know if you guys know, this is a rematch. Southern T, when did these people fight? When did these women fight? They literally fought their very first fights of their career. Claressa Shields' first fight of her career was versus Franchon Crews, and Franchon Crews' first fight of her career was versus Claressa Shields. If I'm not mistaken, they fought 4 times in the amateurs, right? I think they fought 4 times in the amateurs. Could have been 3 or 4 times in the amateurs, right? So they have a lot of history here. There is a lot of history here. The first time they fought, right? I've said this before. I've stated this multiple times, right? That I feel like the first time that they fought, even still to this day, Franchon Crews provided Claressa Shields with probably her closest and best fight. Hannah Gabriel's knocked Claressa Shields down once, but, that fight really wasn't close on the back end. There was a lot of hype around Christina Hammer, right? Shields kind of dominated her. There was even more hype around Savannah Marshall, right? My bad, y'all had to yarn. There was even more hype around Savannah Marshall, and she was right. She was eventually, ended up dominating her, right? But in her very first fight, if you go back and watch it, man, Franchon Crews did give her, a run for her money, gave her a really tough fight. I really wasn't sure if, who would win that fight coming out of that fight because he was that close. Claressa Shields ended up getting the win. I thought the right person won. But Franchon Crews has said, in recent interviews with this fight, right, that she feel like that the USA Boxing was protecting Claressa Shields, right? So she was going to win that fight. Not really sure, not really sure if, because this is my first time I heard her say this, right? So I'm not really sure if they're trying to sell tickets because I know they did. These women are friends, and some people was questioning the validity of this match because they're so close. So, they did have a couple PR stunts, the one that I'm talking about now, which her saying Claressa Shields was protected by USA Boxing. They had the PR stunt on Twitter, right, right before the press conference. Then they get to the press conference and they're smiling and hugging the friends again, right? So I think, they understand the business side of it, so it can't be all friendly. And I'm expecting them to maybe turn up and crank up a little more this week as well, just to let the people know that, there are no friends in this ring, and they'll be friends after. I don't think that's going to them being friends, right? I don't think that's going to affect the outcome of going to affect them in the ring because they already threw down once, and if you saw that first fight, they were friends then, right? And it really didn't change anything. So I'm expecting this to be much like the first one. Honestly, yeah, Claressa Shields is a good boxer. Franchon Crews is what you would call a brawler. Sometimes Claressa Shields could, be tricked into a, a brawling match a little bit. She could be, I don't want to say tricked, right? Maybe that's the wrong word. But sometimes Claressa Shields could be enticed. She's down for a good fight. You know what I mean? Every now and again. And Franchon Crews is most definitely going to try to bring the fight. That's what she does. Franchon Crews is a woman who weaponizes her activity. She weaponizes her forward pressure. And she's also a woman that if her stamina, if her conditioning is on point, she can be a really, really tough test for anybody given the fact how active she is. And, she has a nice size for this weight class. Not height-wise, but she's really sturdy. Her and Claressa, they're very built down there at the bottom, right? They got some nice hips and things, right? Solid hips, right? That's where they weight at. They got nice base down there, right? So they're very sturdy in this fight. And low key, y'all, I actually think these women are going to bang, right? I think they go bang. I almost don't think anybody's going to get knocked out, right? But when you got two women, there's going to be this big, this in shape, this strong. Claressa Shields is looking strong all over the internet. Franchon Crews always looks strong. She's always down for a fight. I think, as long as it's a boxing match, Claressa Shields will be able to control it. But I think Franchon Crews understands that she's going to have to make this gritty, ugly, and mugly a little bit. And I think she's going to be able to do it to a degree. I think earlier in the rounds, Claressa Shields will be on her stick. She will use her boxing ability a lot more. But I think as the rounds go on, right, as Claressa Shields slows down just a little bit, because she does tend to slow down just a little bit. Not enough to lose a fight, not enough to take a whole lot of damage, but as she has moving up, or maybe gotten a little older, right, but as she has moved up, she does tend to slow down just a tad bit more, right, on the back end. And I think those later rounds is where we're going to get our best fireworks from these ladies. I say about round maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. I think it's going to really start to turn up because I think we'll see more, just fighting, brawling, banging between the two. I think Claressa Shields will be able to control, not easily, not even smoothly, right? But I do think she will be able to manage and control the choreography of this fight. She'll be able to keep it a cleaner fight, use her stick, use her jab in the early rounds, right? Kind of set a pace and set, how this fight is going to go. But I think Franchon will be able to turn it on a little more on the back end and make it a closer fight. So I do have Claressa Shields winning this fight, points decision on the scorecards, and what I think is going to be a great fight. So Claressa Shields for the win. I don't think anybody will get knocked out. Do think it's going to be a great fight. This is for the queen of Undisputed, the queen of the boxing world, Claressa Shields, decision. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through.